Okay, we're going to do a problem using the quadratic formula. I have a quadratic function right here. The first thing I need to do is make sure I put it in standard form. And hopefully you remember what standard form is. It's ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And so if you notice, everything is on one side of the equal sign. So we got to make sure everything's on one side. In our situation, we know it's not. So what I'm going to do is I want to move the 12 over. And to move the 12 over, I'm going to have to do the opposite. So instead of a plus 12, I'm going to subtract 12 to both sides of the equal sign. Alright, so I can't combine like terms because I don't have any that are alike, and so I'm just going to put them all together, and 12 minus 12 is 0. So we have it in standard form. Now that I have it in standard form, I'm going to put the quadratic equation in here. Let me do this right. So here is my equation that we moved over. So we're going to use the quadratic formula, which is x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That's a c. Alright, so one thing I do want to make sure that you are aware of is we're just going to plug these in. So my a value is 1 because what's in front of x squared, 1. My b value is 3 and my c value is a negative 12. So I'm just going to plug everything in. So I have x equals a negative, and my b is a negative 12 plus or minus the square root of, I said negative 12. Wasn't paying attention, I guess. It's actually 3. So it's a negative 3. And then b is being squared, so that's going to be 3 squared minus 4 times a is 1, and then c is a negative 12. All over 2, and a is 1. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. So it's a negative 3 plus or minus the square root, and 3 squared is 9, and 4 and 12, those are both negative, so you multiply them, you're going to get a positive 48 over 2. So we got x equals a negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 57 all over 2. Let's go to the next one. Alright, so this is what we have now. We need to look at our square root. We need to determine if our square root, we're talking about square root of 57, can I find two numbers that multiply together to give me 57? Otherwise I want to simplify it. And the only two numbers I can get is 3 times 19. These are both prime, so I can't simplify this because the index is a 2. I can't, remember the index is a little number between there, I can't do anything else with this. So I'm just going to separate the two. I'll put them in different colors. I got x equals a negative 3 plus the square root of 57 over 2. And then my other one is x equals a negative 3 minus the square root of 57 over 2. Now, technically I could leave these like they are. If I'm putting these in a graphing calculator, I want to make sure that I put parentheses around them. Okay, these two are actually the exact answer. Now, if we were to put this in a graphing calculator, like I said, you could put the parentheses around it and put it in your calculator. We should get x equals 2.275, something like that. Now that's one, and the other one should be, let's see, negative 5.275. All right, these are called our x-intercepts. These are our roots, our solutions. Otherwise, what we're saying is this, if we had a parabola, this would be like negative 5 point something, this would be 2, and that means our parabola would be like really close to those two guys there. And so that's what these are. Now these are the estimated because we're rounding, but the two at the top are really called our actual numbers, or because they're not rounded. Now there is one more thing I need to talk to you about, and so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to another page. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to paste this right here. All right. Now, whenever you're doing something, there's something called the discriminant. And okay, and I'm going to try to spell it correctly, which I probably didn't. But anyway, what it is, it's b squared minus 4ac. This is what I call the brains, of the problem. So like when you see the quadratic equation, it's b squared minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. There it is right there, divided by 2a. This here, and I'm going to highlight it, this here is the same thing this is right here. It's the same thing. All right, so what you do is when you plug this in, and you see in my problem here, I got really the square root of 57. All right, so really this in the problem that we have is just 57. So there's two things we need to kind of watch. I mean, there's things that we need to know about this. So in this problem, it's 57. All right, but when this, all right, if you have a graph, if this adds up to be a negative, then my parabola will not touch the x-axis. There'll be no x-axis. So it'll be 0 x-intercepts. Get out. No. No. Jordan! Okay, if the discriminant, that's what this is, if it is if it equals 0, so if this is negative, let me rewrite this so you can see a little better. If the work comes out and it's negative, let's try different colors. If the answer is a negative number, then it's 0 x-intercepts, because there's not one. Intercept. I can't believe I'm just really having a good one. All right, so it's just go. I don't have my room. Okay, so there's 0 x-intercepts. All right, so when we do if it's equals 0, so otherwise we do the math and it equals 0. So if it equals 0, then it only touches the parabola one time. I mean the x-axis one time. So it's only one solution. All right. Now, if it's a positive number like ours is here, 57, then it actually touches it in two spots. It'll touch it. All right. So this is when the number is positive. All right, and it's two solutions. And you can see that they're right there, two solutions. All right, so I just want to kind of explain that to you so that way you know that. So like in our question, look, 57 is positive, so we know we're going to have two solutions.